welcome to another talking video. It's pretty fun. I love it. I actually enjoy it. Read all the comments on the last video, so I will be doing a dive-in deep review of my Everest trips. I'll probably do a little bit of a highlight of the first one and then more in detail of the second one, which is the most ridiculous, so that video will be coming out hopefully in the next day or two. I just felt like I could do something a little shorter because I don't have that much time today because I gotta finish the headlights on my BMW that I took apart last night, and I'm putting new Morimoto D2S projectors in. I don't know. Anyways, I retrofit. I make everything different on all of my vehicles. So anyways, if you're interested in vehicles, which this video will talk about drifting and whatnot, I think I'm gonna do a video talking about the cars that I currently have, because I do have quite a few random vehicles, like LS swapped Volvos and 2JZ swapped BMWs, and I just sold my GT3 last night, and I'm gonna get something else hopefully soon, and then yeah, I got some other cool stuff as well as my red BMW. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this particular video. So this is a video that there was a clip that I used. It's like a semi-viral clip of last year. I guess I was at Grid Life and I was flying this is in Colorado. So this is PPIR. I'm flying at Colorado Springs area. There's PPIR is a Pikes Peak International Raceway. And anyways, there's a Grid Life going on there, which is kind of like a car event for you guys that aren't aware of what that is. But basically there's drifting, there's road racing, there's all kinds of cool stuff, there's concerts. Anyways, I usually get invited. I've been doing stuff with Grid Life for a while. And this particular Grid Life, there was a little bit of pay, but it was more just come out and hang out with my buddies. Again, the Taxi Garage guys. I don't know if you've seen them. I'm sure you've seen them in a bunch of my videos, but the little three-wheeled carts that rip around. And my blonde friend Nick that I've known since I was 13 years old. Anyways, long story short, I'm here, I'm flying this particular event, just kind of grabbing as much footage as I can, and honestly this is a really cool event to shoot because drifting is fun to shoot, and also it's a little bit tighter of a track as far as the infield of PPIR. It's not tight in a sense, but it's more of I have good line of sight, and the track is very interesting. So particularly when I'm filming drifting, it's usually there's one of two things that or a couple things that I look for actually. One, I want to fly with guys that are good at driving, mainly because they're more consistent. I know that sounds kind of stuck up, but realistically, if you're flying or driving, doing anything with a professional, someone that's really, really good at what they do, they're a lot easier to predict, so you can get a lot closer. So I know there's been a lot of guys posting videos over the last couple of years, even longer than that, but drifting, if you go to a grassroots drift and you're just trying to get really cool footage, by all means it's the best place to learn how to film drifting. But as far as chasing them, especially lower skill level guys that are sliding or lower horsepower cars, it's a lot harder. I don't know if any of you guys have ever noticed, but you see guys backing up and coming up and close, and they're getting real close and having to change direction and do all kinds of weird stuff. It's just not as consistent, mainly because the drivers aren't as consistent, so it's harder to follow them. So in a sense, flying with better people makes it easier, but also you kind of got to have the right gear, in my mind, to be able to get close and feel confident so that you're not gonna hit the car. So let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. So I am flying DJI. This is the version 1, or the original DJI, and then I'm running Crossfire. So I actually switched recently to Tracer because I felt that it was a little bit more responsive, obviously 2.4, and a little bit more resolution and a faster, or more data. It's a little bit faster and it's a little more reliable in close range stuff, but obviously Crossfire is gonna do better over long ranges, and also it potentially has less likelihood of dropping out of the sky. But yeah, for really tight, within, I would say half a mile of flying, I'm gonna fly Tracer, especially for drifting, because I feel more confident flying Tracer. Anyways, and I was flying Crossfire in this, so I was a little less confident, but because of the layout of the track, I felt confident because I could see really well what was going on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start this video, and I'll just talk you through what I'm doing and what's going on in my head. So at the beginning of this thing, I kind of set it up to where I'm actually gonna be showing you some of the stuff of me getting ready. So again, I'm just checking lenses, I'm checking to make sure everything's set up, I'm checking to make sure my battery's fully charged, because believe me, I've done it before. I take off and the battery's not charged. I didn't check in the OSD, so I usually plug in a battery checker beforehand and just make sure that battery that I just put on there is fully charged. And usually drift events are super freaking loud, so I always have earplugs in. So anyways, I pop off right here. I'm flying over. I'm just kind of checking out the area. I know the track pretty well. This is like midway through the day or the event. I think this is the second day of the event. I know that there's a train coming. That's cool because I can see the start of this, so I know that there's like certain cars are coming. Usually I kind of hover by the start line because I'm in a zone that I can only hit certain parts of the track, so I kind of have to fly up and look and see what's coming. And again, I'm like trying to get my buddy Nick here. All these shots are just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get as close as possible. It's not choreographed in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, they're just kind of freestyling. That's kind of why I like filming drifting, is because drifting is very freestyle oriented. Like, they're kind of just trying to stay sideways in a very consistent way, especially when they're tandeming in large groups like this, because they don't know what the guy in front is doing. I always like to try to go in people's windows, and I actually have gone in people's windows before. I don't think I posted that video. Maybe I'll do that as a reel today, but I flew in my buddy Ryan's window on accident. You know, it didn't hurt anybody, so we're all good. Yeah, people make mistakes. There's other people flying at this event, and that is one thing to coordinate if you aren't sure. Definitely, if you see another drone in the air, go find that guy and be like, yo, what channel are you on? And at least coordinate channels, because if you plug on, even on DJI, and you're on channel 1 and he's on channel 1, it could potentially knock him out of the sky, or vice versa. If he's already flying and you plug in and take off and he flies closer to you, might mess you up depending on how close you are. Again, these guys, at least the car in the back is like a really high-end car. I mean, the Z at front's pretty awesome as well, but I'm just saying, like, from a sponsorship, I think that's actually Farouk. I don't know, it's an Ineos car. Anyways, I kind of started to learn some of these drivers' names because I've started sliding recently. And I mean, I've been in drifting for forever, but this is that viral shot. Not viral, it went pretty well on my Instagram, but I kind of dove in on this car. I had no idea that it was going to be this good. I really like these kind of backward shots where I look at the driver and he actually happened to look at me and point at the same time, which was super sick. And then I ended up effing it up by touching the ground right there, and then it got real close. This is real steadied, so you know, I do a lot of things where I'll fly in 4x3. As far as my aspect ratio is, and now with the GoPro 12 I actually fly 8x7 to give myself a little bit more room to crop in, so I can crop into 4x3, and then if I need to I can go crop in again and, you know, find what keyframe I want. If I really want to go that far and try to make a shot super perfectly framed, yeah, then I can do that, and it gives me a lot more room, because if I do a 4x3 and then it crops to 16:9, I've lost all the top and down. So I don't know. We talk about maybe a GoPro settings day where I kind of decide what I'm gonna use. We'll talk about that in another video, but yeah, let me know what you guys use on your GoPros when you're chasing drift cars, if you've ever done such a thing. And I shot in 60 FPS here so that I could slow it down, but obviously, you know, with the lighting, it was a little more ridiculous, so I left the ISO on auto. And I also kind of always leave shutter speed on auto too, because I've done so many shoots. Well, maybe actually on this one I didn't, because it was so static as far as like the temperature and the lighting conditions. But generally, if it's any clouds in the sky, I leave the shutter speed on auto, because sometimes it'll be overexposed, sometimes it'll be underexposed, and then sometimes you get this like funky thing. You can even get it when you have a auto shutter, where it starts to like click clack and do all kinds of weird stuff, where it can like slow the shutter speed down way too much, and then it starts getting jumpy. So I've had issues in both cases, but I just find that it's kind of easy for me in most cases to leave the GoPro on auto, and it gets me mainly what I want. Sure, there are better ways to do it, and if I'm on a set and some guy's like, yo, I want it at 5K, I want, you know, shutter at 180, I want 60 FPS, I want an ND16 on there, I just want it to be exposed perfectly, and they're willing to sacrifice, you know, maybe there's a cloud coming and we're gonna get the shot before the cloud, and, you know, I'm trying to adjust and make sure that that doesn't mess the shot up. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into trying to like fix a camera, especially when you have changing conditions. And when you're flying and drifting, sometimes you gotta go, because there's some car that you need to be filming, and I can't be worried about, oh fuck, the sun just came out, I gotta change this GoPro setting so that I can take off and film this car, because the car might have already gone by the time I can do that. So yeah, chasing drift cars, especially when you're like
sectioned off to get a certain car and you're like, you know, in the heat of the moment, it can be really easy to get lost and figure out like, I didn't even see that car, yet he's gone 3 times, and it's because I'm just lost in the moment, or I'm chasing another car and he's right behind and I don't see, and then I take back off and go back to the start line and I missed him. So again, it can be like pretty hard in the moment. And a little minute ago I talked about wearing earplugs. It's generally I always wear earplugs when I'm at any motorsports event, because I, you know, value my hearing and I value my sight and I value my lungs. So I don't have like a crazy mask on, but in this particular video you see me with my little burqa thing, or whatever you call that, like the little guy that covers my nose. That's not doing much, but it's at least stopping, especially on this corner, dirt and rocks and tire bits from shooting into my face. So usually I'm sitting close enough to the track where that stuff actually does affect me and you get smoked out a lot. I kind of like it because it gets you in the moment, gets your adrenaline pumping a little bit more, because you're closer to the track and you kind of feel what's going on and you kind of get in that mindset of like, hey, this is happening, this is how I'm going to deal with that. But also I'm trying to like protect myself, protect my ears, protect my my face, protect my, you know, my mouth, my neck. I usually like I'm strapped up even if it's really sunny out. I always have long sleeve on and I'm protecting myself from the sun, and usually I'm also protecting myself from whatever the hell I'm doing, especially motorsports related. And I make sure that I'm aware of what's going on. I don't know if you guys saw this video a few years ago, but my buddy Ruben took off a wing and I was chasing it with a drone and it literally stalled and started like coming at me. And because I was flying third person, I was able to like dodge it. I don't know, like keep that in mind. Like if you see a car coming at your physical body, I know you're third person and you're watching it, but like you could pop goggles off and just like disarm the drone and move out of the way, or duck behind this K barrier or something like that. So, you know, that's not always going to be the case, but it is something to like keep in mind, because you are kind of putting yourself in a little bit of danger when you're closer to the action like that. So anyways, I hope this video was semi-informative, and I will be making more like this. I kind of enjoy talking about all this stuff and like my process of going into this. Obviously every drift event is different. There's always some new criteria that you have to live up to, or some new thing. Maybe I got to do certain frame rates or whatever. I always ask, I'm like, hey, do you guys want 120? Do you want to be able to slow it down? Do you want 60? Because 60 is good enough usually. Do you want to be able to crop up and down? So yeah, I know there are fixed, or not fixed, but variable angle drones. And there are a lot of people that are very good at flying those, but I don't know, maybe one day I'll be able to master that in some way, shape, or form. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one, and it will definitely be Everest related. If you have any comments or questions, you can put them down below and ask, you know, I'll make a video. Maybe ask like, hey, how do you do this? Or why do you do this? What GoPro settings do you use in these environments? I'd be glad to answer these questions. That's kind of been my entire memo since day one. Is kind of share what I do. There's a scarcity mindset in this hobby. I don't really believe in it. I feel like there's a lot of room for a lot of people to grow. Everyone can grow. It's just gonna help the entire hobby. Like I hate the mindset of I'm gonna hold this secret to myself so that, you know, somebody else doesn't overtake me. Like, bro, people have been telling me for 10 years that, oh, they're gonna get you. I'm coming for you, Mr. Steve. Like I'm not scared, but I also don't care. So like, please, like grow everything. You grow, I'll help you grow. Like we can all swell together rather than just this, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna be better and I'm gonna be better and I'm gonna be better. So I know my mindset's probably changed over the years, but that's how I feel these days. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great week. Bye.